And welcome you back to ESPN's Wide World of Sports Complex in Champion Stadium. 13U Elite World Series Championship game. LA Tigers and the SL Select. And Bernie Gunther, Matt Trebishon, glad you're with us. And I know, Matt, talking with you earlier, you really talked about this game being a matchup of two Cinderella teams.
Well, it's really, Bernie, it's one Cinderella team in the fact that the Louisiana Tigers, the 22 seed, out of pool play, ran the gauntlet in the bracket play to make it to the championship game. Just absolutely, I've been running this tournament for 14 years, and I have never seen a 22 seed knock off the teams that this Louisiana Tigers team knocked off in the past 5 days to get to this game. It's really going to be something special.
Well, we are getting ready for baseball here. SL Select, they are the home team. The visitors, Louisiana Tigers, Jude Gramillion. Here's number 4 getting set to lead things off here in what should be just an outstanding championship game. We have been treated to some real dandy contests this week all across this complex, but I'd say that almost every year that we sit and watch these championship games, I think that almost everybody is amazed at how much talent that they see. That's the way to start it off. Jude Gramillion, base hit back up the middle. Gets the game started with a base hit.
Jude didn't even let me start talking there. But what I was going to say is this Tigers team, they put the ball in play. And as you can see, very first pitch of the game, and they got a base runner. That's what allowed them to run the gauntlet the way they did.
So Gramillion gets aboard, and that brings up Grant Landry. He's the third baseman today.
Here we go, kid.
This Tigers program has got some history. That history really stems from their 14-year-olds. But in the last few years, the 13-year-old program has really come on strong and is making themselves a national presence. And that really speaks to why they're here this evening. Just that, they went 0-2-1 in pool play, Bernie. They played 3 pool games and didn't win a single one. And then they must have had one of those, I like to call them call to Jesus moments.
Yep.
And regrouped, and then literally they took on, you got to realize that every single team they played in pool play was seeded higher than them. And they just knocked them off one by one.
Pulling a strike to Grant Landry. These hitters come in with a great mentality. Certainly, you're going to see a lot of these athletes come in and come up with some really big hits throughout the course of this championship game. At this age, they can really play, can't they?
Well, yeah, that's one of the things, Bernie, I love about the 13-year-old age group is that it's really the first version of real baseball. Of course, these kids are playing 60-90 regulation-size diamond. We brought the fence in about 20 to 30 feet around to make the home run part of the game. But they're playing real baseball. You're going to see hit and runs, and you're going to see sacrifice bunts. You're going to see all the things that you see in a major league game, just on a little bit slower and a little bit smaller level. But it's going to make for some great baseball this evening.
These two teams know each other fairly well because obviously you take a look at the Louisiana Tigers, obviously from Louisiana, but the SL Tigers is short for South Louisiana.
It is. It's they're located somewhere there somewhere in the bayou. I believe is how they say that, the bayou. And of course, I believe the Louisiana Tigers are actually based out of Baton Rouge, which I don't think you can get any closer to the bayou than Baton Rouge. So yeah, I'm sure these teams are very, very familiar with each other, and they're going to know how to pitch certain hitters, and they're going to know who not to pitch to. So The Tigers is that team that had the batter that hit the Chipper Jones batting tunnel out there over the 385 center, or 385 sign, and that was back last Sunday in the very first pool game. So there's some boppers on both these teams.
This is Aiden Lambert now. These guys mentioned Bayou Black, where they're from. Lambert, the shortstop in tonight's championship game.
Back out.
2 on and nobody out here in the top of the first inning.
Clear.
Eden trying to get something going against the pitcher, Carter Fabry. That pitch sails and gets away. And the runners advance to second and third.
Hey.
So 2 now are in scoring position.
Okay. Good secondary.
Here's Vermillion, led off the inning. Aiden Lambert, Big A, they call him. He is from Baton Rouge, an Astros fan. It's his very first Elite World Series, and what a memorable moment for him, I'm sure, to get all the way through the bracket play. Because we always talk about, Matt, not only just how great it is to get to the Elite World Series, but how difficult it is to qualify, and then to think about when you get here to make your way through pool play and bracket play and advance to the championship game. It really shows that you've done something special this week.
Well, Bernie, it's a grind. You know, you're fighting not only just the toughest competition in the country, but you're also fighting the elements. It's hot in Central Florida, you know, and you're fighting the rain every day, and you're fighting the lightning delays every day. It's a grind. The Elite World Series, you know, it lasts 8 days, and it's a tough 8 days. The elements are very, very difficult, and that's why they, you know, at the end when it's all said and done, the dust is settled, the best team's going to stand on top.
Well, a big swing there. Carter Fabry gets a strikeout, and that's what you need when you get 2 in scoring position coming up big.
Well, both these offenses, Bernie, can score some runs. The Tigers are averaging 6.5 runs a contest, and the select team is averaging 10 runs a contest. So I predict this to be a pretty offensive game. Now, of course, now that I've said that, you know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to end up 2-1. But mark my word that right here, right now, the Tigers are going to put at least 1, maybe 2 on the board. They're not going to waste this opportunity, because this is how they did what they did in bracket play, is by scoring the runs when they got the guys on base.
Nolan Duplessis out to left field. It's going to score 1 run. Vermillion comes in, and the Tigers, they score first, and Noah ends up at second base.
Real aggressive base running there. He rounded first. Noah rounded first there and looked where the throw was going, made sure the throw wasn't coming into second, and he took that base. You know, and basically what that means is now here we go, second and third again.
You love that heads-up base running. This is Branson McCoy. And so many of these players, they mentioned this is their first Elite World Series. Branson, number 34, pitcher and first baseman from Watson, Louisiana. He's a Bryce Harper fan.
Well, if you got to be a fan of a major league, if you like a major league player, there's nothing wrong with liking Bryce Harper. You know, a lot of people might complain about his attitude, but the kid puts numbers on the board, and that's what matters.
Bouncer over to first. They will trade the out for the run, and that's not a bad idea because we're here in the first inning. It's 2-0 Louisiana Tigers, but I think that's what you do here in the first inning to get that second out, right?
Yeah, the out's real important. There's a lot of baseball to play. These guys play 7 innings. There's a lot of baseball to play. But I will point out the fact that the Tigers did plate both those original 2 runs. They're not going to miss the opportunity. It's really ironic in that the coaching staff between the 13 and the 14-year-old Tigers, a lot of them are the same, and they play the same style of baseball.
So McCoy drives in a run. This is Jimmy Johnson. Classic name.
Extra hitter. And I had to ask if the name, if there's any connection, but there's not.
Could be the family to Cowboy fans.
Could be. Well, Baton Rouge, you're either going to be a Saints fan or a Cowboys fan, and really, Bernie, who wants to be a Saints fan?
Carter Fabry ahead 0-2. And he's going to get a line out, though, to end the inning. But the Tigers played 2 here in the first inning. A good start to this 13U Elite World Series championship game, but the South Louisiana Select, they come to the plate for the first time when we come back.
Next.
Expected wait time, 55 minutes. Your call is important to us. Thank you for your patience.
In the nation, we know how it feels when you aren't treated like a priority. We do things differently.
We'll take care of it.
We put members first.
Thank you.
Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
All right, we are back at the USSSA Elite World Series earlier today. Palm Beach Gardens, Genesis Baseball, and Genesis, they were raking in the dough as they produced the first 4 runs of the game. They got a couple big hits. We also saw a couple of sweet defensive plays, including Mule with a home run for Palm Beach Gambling. But in the end, the celebration was on Genesis Baseball. They become the 12U Elite World Series champions, and they do so in splendid fashion. Running out there, Matt Trebashan welcoming you back for the bottom of the first inning. It's a great day to enjoy baseball under the lights, and a little different story than what we had last night where the rain got in the way of things. But, obviously today we had actually some showers probably about 2 hours before game time. It was almost a sun shower, if you will. Blew right through, and then we were ready to play.
Just enough to beat down the dust, and after it dried up a little bit, re-dragged the field, and it's ready to go. It's a great Central Florida summer evening. Not too hot, not too humid. Feels really great out here, which is going to make it a lot easier on these boys playing this game, because it has been hot and humid all week long.
All right, well, Mason Morris is the starting pitcher going up against Marquis Scott. Jay Robinson, his favorite player from Greenville, Mississippi.
Second approach, Quinn.
Select team Scott leading things off. Marquis Scott. His favorite Major League Baseball player, Jackie Robinson.
Doesn't get any better than that, Bernie.
And it sounds like he's got the type of pop if he needs to lead this yard, because he says that his favorite baseball moment is hitting a 420-foot home run off his old team. He loves a little revenge.
Wow. 420. Wow.
That's a big hit. One away here in the first inning. Walters making the play.
Bernie, did you say 420-foot home run?
I just read the bios that are sent to me. And Gene is the second hitter in the lineup.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that's actually, I guess when you break it down, Bernie, that's believable. The 385 sign out there on the Chipper Jones batting tunnel, the 385 sign.
Yep.
That fence right there is about 20 feet in front of the building. Okay, so that puts you at 85, 90, 405. So, and Hey, 420, yeah, I can see that. But that is a blast for a 13-year-old.
Well, the one thing we know about USSSA baseball players, especially if you can get to this venue, is they can really play when they get to this championship game.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of batters who's going to step in the box tonight, and they are going to rake. There's a lot of good sticks on both these clubs, a lot of good arms on both these clubs, and both these clubs also play really good defense. There's a little shot of that defense we're talking about right there.
Good infield defense for the Louisiana Tigers. They get rid of Jean-Luc Lapierre. Oh, Eli Davis, the second baseman.
Grant Landry fielded that big hop, waited back on it, fired a bullet over to Mason McCoy, get the out.
Eli David, nicknamed Yeti. He's from Cutoff, Louisiana, a Rangers fan. His favorite player plays on my beloved Chicago Cubs.
No. Are we gonna start that, Bernie? Your beloved Cubs, unbelievable. 1 year you're good, and all of a sudden now they're incredible.
Look at this.
Nice back.
They're putting on a clinic defensively here in the first inning. And the Tigers up by 2. Mason Morris pitches a 1-2-3 first. An inning in the books. And it's the Tigers up 2-0 in the 13U championship.
We are the game changers, the soldiers.
We are one and we are many.
We fight together for one common goal.
But how we fight?
Well, that couldn't be any more different.
We each have our own skills
and our own needs.
Which is why we choose these as our weapons.
A collection of the hottest tools to give us the power we strive for.
These are the game changers.
For the game changers.
We are one.
We are many.
We are DeMarini Nation.
Power to the players.
And we welcome you back to the USSSA Elite World Series. Vice President of National Events, Matt Trebuchan, Bernie Gunther, welcome you back to our broadcast booth here for the 13U championship game. The one thing that really impresses me the most about this Elite World Series is you just see the emotion on these athletes' faces of how important this moment in their young careers is.
You know, Bernie, it's really amazing. I've talked about blood, sweat, and tears, for lack of a better word. But these young athletes, you got to remember, tonight we're looking at 13-year-olds. They're going to leave it all out on the field. Every single one of them. They're going to give it 110%. And you'll be guaranteed, no matter what, it's going to be the best that they can do.
Well, SL Select back fielding here in the second inning. Two nothing advantage. Interesting to see is this game carries on. Now Carter Fabry will settle down. CJ at the plate. Excuse me, Gabe Patterson, I should say, at the plate with a base hit out to left field.
Nice little lace there to left field. Tell you, I know the Select didn't do much at the plate there in the first inning, but trust me, Bernie, when I tell you that they can hit the baseball, this is going to be an offensive battle. You got one team that averaged 10 runs a game, you get another team that averaged 6.5. That's a lot of runs to score over the course of 8 or 9 games.
Well, Tigers getting to work here in the second inning already with a runner on board. This CJ coming to the plate. Craig. Durali, outfielder, first baseman, pitcher from Baton Rouge, a left-handed hitter. It's 5'4", and loves Jose Altuve in the Astros' third time that he's competed at the Elite World Series. His teammate steals second. He's got a stolen base here in the second inning.
Now, you know, under normal circumstances, Bernie, I shouldn't have any trouble pronouncing these last names, being that most of these Louisiana names have the French twist to them, and my heritage being French, you would think that I would do okay, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm just looking down these lineup cards. I would struggle greatly with some of these names.
Going to need to see if they can hand us a pronunciation guide. Popped up into center field, and the left fielder actually comes over, calls for it, and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Caught by Jean Laplaie. Now here's the pitcher, Mason Morris.
Right there, clear. Sit. Back. Hey, beat it in the dirt. Let's go.
So can Morris help out his cause, if you will? The pitcher at the plate, with the Tigers already leading 2-0.
Bernie, if I told you at 8 o'clock p.m. on July 29th that it would be 84 degrees in Orlando, would you believe me?
I would take it, for sure.
So that's where we're at, 84 degrees. It is a beautiful night for baseball.
And I'll tell you that this venue really does play it up underneath the lights. You see to get a chance to play in this stadium the way that it's set up, you know, that obviously going to be the last couple of years that it's going to have a spring training team, at least that we know right now, because the Braves are moving down to North Port Charlotte, Northport area that's north of Punta Gorda. At least in a year or two, depending on how quick they can build that stadium. But you have a lot of venues that are in Arizona that are as big as this one, but this has got to be the largest spring training venue in the state of Florida. The Red Sox have a nice complex down in Fort Myers, but still nothing to the likes of what you see here at Champion Stadium.
Yeah, actually, Bern, Champion Stadium is the only two-deck spring training stadium that there is in Major League Baseball in Florida or in Arizona. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, with the berm down the left field line and behind the wall there, this stadium will hold about 8,900, that's a big number for spring training baseball. And just imagine, here we got tonight 13-year-old kids playing in that same exact facility as the Atlanta Braves played in just four short months ago.
Well, here you have the talented Mason Morris trying to come up with a big hit. Ahead of the count, 3-0, takes a pitch, it's 3-1. Tigers with a runner on third already have produced the first 2 runs of this contest. And he's going to draw a walk.
For our viewers that just saw that pan across the infield, you'll notice that there's a lot of little weird grass cutouts all over the infield on this field. And that's to facilitate the 8-year-olds and the 9-year-olds and the 10-year-olds and the 11-year-olds and the 12-year-olds that we play here at the Elite World Series. Not to mention, the 2 weeks prior to the Elite World Series, USSSA Fast Pitch was here. And they had their championship games in the stadium here. So this field really becomes a makeshift do-all in the summer. And I know at first look it may look a little rough, but actually when you get down there on the diamond, it's in really good shape given the quantity of games that get played on it, and not to mention the amount of rainfall we've had this summer, Bern. We went 33, 34 straight days of rain, and at some point that's going to begin to affect your playing surface.
But obviously the challenge for these individuals here at this championship is, they're trying obviously to do everything they can to try to win it, but everybody wants to play on this field as well, so you can't hold people back and not play at the different age groups, because this is really the turning point. Some of the teams don't make it to the championship game, but just the experience of getting to play here makes all the difference in the world, as you see Taylor Walters, nicknamed T, at the plate here. Runner going. Cut off throw. That's how we saw earlier in the 12U championship game, the first run of the contest get scored.
Yeah, you're exactly right that you could probably put gravel on the infield, and the teams would still want to play in this venue. It's just the fact of playing in a professional type stadium, which is the same thing at the Space Coast complex out in Vieira. Is professional spring training stadium.
Down the line. Oh, they're going to say it's foul. Did not look that way to the visual eye that we had up here in the booth, but obviously, my glasses on, much better view for our umpires down there. That's one of the great things about this Elite World Series, is obviously all the umpires come in a 4-man crew, which you don't always see here for a 13U championship. So you got somebody covering all the spots. Have to see how close this was. Still tough to see.
Well, first base umpire Scooter Morrison all over that call. So if Scooter says it was foul, I'm going to go with him and say it was foul. He got himself in great position for that call.
Popped up on the infield and caught. What a difference.
The only other person on that foul call there that really gets a really good look at it is the first base coach.
Yep.
And if he wasn't wailing his arms and acting up, and he was okay with the call, then I guess it's probably safe to assume that our umpires got it right.
Yeah, I would agree there. This is Jude Gramillion. Gramillion swings through and misses on the first pitch.
18 different states represented this year by the officiating crew of the Elite World Series. 622 games they will have called by the time we finish our last championship game tomorrow afternoon. And different USSSA programs, state programs, supplied us 18 different states. So that makes for a very well-rounded crew. And when you can get the best from 18 different states, you're going to have some pretty good umpires in the house.
Yeah, it's quite an honor when you get that call to say, "Hey, can you come down and work the Elite World Series?"
Yeah, it really is. We have guys year after year after year that want to come down and work it, but there's only obviously so many umpires we can take, and we're going to make sure that they got the right resume before we accept them. So it's we try to get the absolute best officials we can find. We've got elite level teams, and we want elite level officials.
Sky high pop fly out to left field. It is caught, and look at this. The Tigers, they threaten, but Carter Fabry gets himself out of a jam. And now South Louisiana Select coming back to the bottom of the second inning, trailing by 2. But it could have been so much more.
First started swinging Marucci bats when I was in AAA. I needed some bats to swing, and I heard about Marucci at the time, so I gave it a shot. I mean, just the difference in the bats were amazing. It felt so good in my hand, felt like an instrument almost. My name is Andrew McCutcheon, and I swing Marucci. Check out Big League tested and approved Marucci products now.
be fun at the old ballpark, having fun down the left field line. The siblings making it out to Champion Stadium. They get to take part, obviously, in all that happens at the Elite World Series. And that's one of the things that is so special about this championship. SL 30 coming to the plate.
It's a true family affair, Bernie. You can come out here any single game that gets played in this stadium and you're going to see little kids rolling down those hills.
Stay head back. Stay head behind that back knee.
So SL Select coming to the plate here with an opportunity in the bottom of the second inning. Their batter number 7, Kendry Bergen.
Hey, get us in. Let's go, Caden. Use the field, man. Get that head back.
Number 4, center fielder.
Find a way on.
Full count awaits.
Check the way first. Let it out. Let it out.
This ball skied to center field. And caught and hauled in. Route number 1. So the center fielder takes care of the center fielder as Drew Gramillion makes the play out in center for the first out in the second inning. Katri Bergson and Keela Bergson on this team.
You know, I don't know if they're identical twins or not, but I sure did see a kid that looked like that many, many times this week. I just don't know if it was the same one or not.
He's trying to keep you on your toes, right?
Yeah.
Ball and a strike. One plays at third, the other plays in center field.
But they bat 4 and 5.
It's pretty special to get a chance to do it with your brother. I mean, you think about that moment, getting to take it all in and to do it together. Kate Bergeron, Keela Bergeron. Caleb, they call him C4. See if he can explode to try to get this offense working here in the second inning.
What you saw there, Bernie, was you saw a batter lean into a soft breaking ball, and our home plate umpire is not going to award him the base. He's going to say that he stuck his elbow into the strike zone to get the hit batsman. And with the elbow guard that he's wearing, a slow breaking ball, maybe not a bad idea to get a runner on base.
Ground ball over to third, and this team has been right on it all day long defensively. Number 13, that's the difference here, is that these guys are playing 60-90 baseball, so full Major League field configurations. So the same throws being made over to third, just like you will see anywhere around the country.
Yeah, it's actually a very difficult game for 13-year-olds to play on this size diamond. Only the best athletes, can play this game on this big of a field.
Popped up, called for, and caught. And that'll do it for the second inning. Louisiana leading 2-0 as we head to the third.
Challenger. Seems kind of heavy, don't you think?
We might need to cut this up.
Out of zero, pretty light. I don't know. Maybe the other side?
That should even
that
out.
should make it right.
Yeah, out of zero, 1-0.
Next competitor.
Time to get the cutting on this one, too. Still no comparison.
No way the coaches let me on the field with this.
Might be in the dugout with it.
We can go one more.
Ooh. Get a couple curls in.
You about to get big out here.
Big but fast, though.
Out of zero.
You can cut something off for that.
We're gonna cut the tongue and everything. No comparison.
Still rock bottom.
That just happened.
Lighter the cleat, faster the game. It's no competition. I'm out of here. Enough said.
We are back under the lights at the USSSA Elite World Series. Ernie Gunther, Matt Trebuchet, glad you're with us. Wherever you are watching around the country. It's a really nice night for baseball. And these are the best of the best that have made it here.
Yeah, half the war, Bernie's just making it to the Elite World Series. You know, the odds, obviously, of on August 1st, when the season starts, of being the last two teams standing at the very end of the following July are slim to none. Odds that I wouldn't take in Vegas, definitely. But lo and behold, what do you end up with? You end up two teams from the same exact state who know each other very, very well, who took two completely different paths through the Elite World Series to get to the championship game.
Yeah, by no means is it an easy thing to get here, right?
No, you know, here we go with the grind again, but yeah, it's a grind, Bernie. There's 50 qualifying events around the country, and some of these teams travel to 5, 6, 7, 8 different events before they finally win a berth to the Elite World Series. And that's what makes the Elite World Series so special in the travel ball world, in that in most of travel baseball, that upper level of baseball,
yep,
you can pay an entry fee and go play, but not the Elite World Series. The Elite World Series, you got to qualify to be there. You got to win something prior. You got to earn something. You got to earn your way, and that's what makes this tournament so special.
Yeah, it's such a coveted prize just to get an opportunity to get here and play for this title.
Yeah, if we just opened up the entries to any team that wanted, we'd have 1,000 teams here. I don't know how we play it,
right?
But I mean, you know, you got to draw the line, and that line is drawn with having to qualify. And this is one of the last upper echelon tournaments in the country that you have to qualify for.
Yeah, there's a lot of big tournaments that people play in throughout the year that, you know, essentially you just pick up and you say, hey, we want to go to this picturesque city for the year, and we'll take you as long as you pay the entry fee, you're in.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way with the Elite World Series. You have to have proven yourself at some point.
It's a base hit out to right field.
You know, Bernie, I probably have got 500 emails in my in a folder in my inbox talking about teams wanting at-large berths to the Elite World Series, and you know, every year we end up awarding one or two in many of the ages.
Right.
But those are teams that went and played in 5 or 6 of these Elite Qualifying Series events, the Super NITs and the Select 30 Super NITs. And these are teams that they made a bona fide effort
to try to make it.
And they came up short 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. You know, but they've proven that, hey, they can play at this level. They need to be here.
Well, you talked about the Cinderella story in this one, having a team seeded 22 coming into the tournament. So, you know, it just shows you that how talented all of youth baseball is, and really just how spread out it is, that you have a chance to try to win the Elite if you are a 22 seed, if you will, coming into this tournament.
Yeah, that's just absolutely unheard of. It's unheard of. It's just like it's like a 30 or an 18 seed in the men's basketball tournament, the NCAA tournament, an 18 seed making it to the finals. It just doesn't happen.
Hey, what? You like a move? Hey, baby.
2-0.
Louisiana Tigers truly went through a gut check this week, and they've responded, and they're being rewarded by that by playing in this game tonight.
That's what's so great about playing in the Elite World Series is just the fact that you have a chance to battle against the best, just to try to prove where you are among some of the top youth baseball teams. Because if you want to get to that next level, many of these guys obviously want to contribute collegiately. Of course, they have ideas of playing at the next level, playing in the majors. But it, of course, all starts trying to balance and go against the best as a youngster.
Well, you say that. You mentioned the major leagues. I'll tell you a real quick story about a little 14-year-old kid who lived in Las Vegas, Nevada, and who played for the OK Mets, Oklahoma Mets. 14-year-old team out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. They went to Atlanta, Georgia, and played in the Atlanta Spring Super NIT. This is back in 2008, I believe.
Look at this, spun it straight in the air, and they almost got a double play.
And a young third baseman playing for that OK Mets team by the name of Bryce Harper hit a 418-foot blast.
Wow.
In the championship game of that Super NIT to win his team a berth to the Elite World Series that year as a 14-year-old.
Hey, give him a look, Ed. Give him a look. Good. Hey, work.
So that's kind of gives just a little story of, yeah, I'm playing in the Elite World Series today, but you know what? You can play in Major League Baseball 5-6 years down the road from now. It can be done. It has been done.
Clear. Clear. Sit.
Branson McCoy at the plate, first baseman for the Tigers.
Clear.
Can he come through with that big hit for the Tigers? They already lead it 2-0.
The one thing that's made the Tigers so successful since the hit bracket play is moving runners. They've been really, really good all week since we got into the double elimination bracket, moving runners.
Did he go? No.
First base umpire Scooter Morrison on the appeal says he didn't go.
Got him this time. There's a strikeout for the second out here in the third inning.
Extra hitter Jimmy Johnson coming to the plate. I just love that name. I know that's not a baseball name technically, but boy, that's a great baseball
name. A classic name, right?
It's a classic baseball name.
This ball took a weird hop on the infield, and everybody's going to be safe.
Boy, off the bat, Bernie, that ball just died. Came off with a funny spin, hit the turf, took a sideways hop. Almost came off the bat like a knuckleball.
Hey, Eli!
Kind of left Eli David there at second base for the SL Select. Kind of left him empty-handed, not really anything to do with it.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, doesn't it? Bases loaded. Look at this. It's a big spot for both the teams here. They are loaded up. SL Select trailing by 2, and the Tigers have a chance to really open things up here with Gabe Patterson at the plate.
I'm assuming Gabe's got one thing on his mind here on his first pitch. He's looking for one pitch in one spot. Wanting to give a heavy ride to a ball here, open things up for his club.
Nice snag there by the catcher. That saved a run. And Plaisance there to snag it.
Carter Fobb for the SL Select probably knows exactly what Patterson's capable of. I'm assuming he's going to probably try to work the corners, stay away from the inside pitch, something that Patterson can turn on and do some damage with. Probably going to pitch him pretty lightly here.
Called a strike. 1-1.
Working that outer third. Not going to bring anything into the wheelhouse here.
Here we go, Gabe!
Grounded to short. They double pump, but they make the throw across the diamond, and that ends the threat. The Tigers leave them loaded up, but they still lead 2-0 in the 13U championship.
Everyone wants more focus. Everyone wants to play better. Using ADD medications as a sports enhancer is illegal and dangerous. Now, there's a clinically proven product that's all natural and available through a U-Trip Focus program. U-Trip members get 20% off when you buy online, and GoBean donates 15% of the purchase to your team. The person that buys and sells the most GoBean wins $5,000, and the team that purchases the most GoBean wins $5,000. Bring your game to the next level with GoBean Focus. It works. Everyone wants more focus. Everyone wants to play better. Using ADD medications as a sports enhancer is illegal and dangerous. Now, there's a clinically proven product that's all natural and available through a U-Trip Focus program. U-Trip members get 20% off when you buy online, and GoBean donates 15% of the purchase to your team. The person that buys and sells the most GoBean wins $5,000, and the team that purchases the most GoBean wins $5,000. Bring your game to the next level with GoBean Focus. It works. Everyone wants more focus. Everyone wants to play better. Using ADD medications as a sports enhancer is illegal and dangerous. Now, there's a clinically proven product that's all natural and available through UTRIP Focus program. UTRIP members get 20% off when you buy online, and GoBean donates 15% of the purchase to your team. The person that buys and sells the most GoBean wins $5,000, and the team that purchases the most GoBean wins $5,000. Bring your game to the next level with GoBean Focus. It works.
We are the game changers, the soldiers.
We are one and we are many.
We fight together for one common goal.
But how we fight,
Well, that couldn't be any more different.
we each have our own skills
And our own needs.
which is why we choose these as our weapons.
A collection of the hottest tools to give us the power we strive for.
These are the game changers.
For the game changers.
We are one.
We are many.
We are D-Marini Nation.
Power to the players.
First started swinging Marucci bats when I was in AAA. I needed some bats to swing, and I heard about Marucci at the time, so I gave it a shot. I mean, just the difference in the bats were amazing. You know, it felt so good in my hand, it felt like an instrument almost. My name is Andrew McCutcheon, and I swing Marucci. Check out Big League tested and approved Marucci products now.
Back under the lights at the USSSA Elite World Series. Louisiana Tigers leading 2-0, but SO Select got out of a really big jam, Matt, especially at the beginning of the third inning. The Tigers had them loaded up. They got a big pitch to get out of it, and now you wonder sometimes if that momentum can carry over here into this inning. As you see a stolen base opportunity, they got him. What a throw! A brilliant gun down for the catcher, Gabe Patterson. And Aiden Lambert applies the tag, and that is how it is done indeed.
Yeah, they got out of the last half inning unscathed, so to speak. And I like to see the aggressive base running. Still early in the ball game, we're less than halfway home. Trying to move that runner over and get him in scoring position. Would have been with nobody out. It's a good gamble. It's still early. They got plenty of time. They'll have other base runners.
Another walk. And so I guess that's what gets you thinking sometimes. As Roth John gets aboard, what could have been? I guess that's always the story sometimes.
Well, that happens a lot in this game, Bernie. I mean, you know, just as easy as they got a runner on first with one out, they could have runners on first and second with nobody out. But unfortunately, no baseball coach can predict the future.
All right, so this is an opportunity. Dylan coming in to hit. Trying to take advantage of this moment. Thought about laying down a bunt, but the bunt goes foul. Everybody coming back to the bags. Bringing the runner back. Really not a bad crowd we've seen for all of our games at night. Tomorrow morning, you have to tune in and watch in between church, if you will.
Yeah.
9 a.m.
Yep, 9:05. First pitch on the 9-year-old championship game. 11:35 on the 10-year-old championship game, and then our nightcap, which is really an afternoon cap.
Yep.
2:05 on our 11-year-old championship. So we got the old triple header tomorrow.
Well, that's what, some of these age groups, that's the challenge you have as the tournament director, is just trying to get everything done in time, especially with as big of the tournament as. Obviously the weather was better this week.
Yeah, we actually got very, very lucky this week. We did have some delays, but we were able to recover from them in an expedient amount of time and managed to stay on schedule. And to this point, every single game that was supposed to be played on a specific day got played on that specific day.
Yep.
Just 2 nights ago, we did in the 11-year-olds. We had some 4 p.m. games that didn't get started till about 10:30 p.m. because of lightning and some rain. But you know what? We made the adjustments, and we're getting the games played.
Nice catch out in right field. A spectacular grab by CJ. Take a look at this. Sliding to make the play.
Got two, Rob, got two.
Great defensive work here. That's as good as any major leaguer. Definitely as good as Jason Hayward there of the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
The most efficient outfielder in baseball.
You love that, right?
I do. I'd love it more if he still played for the Atlanta Braves, but, hey, beggars can't be choosy, right? We do have Nick Markakis out there who does a fine job for us in right field now.
Yeah, the talent that keeps coming, doesn't it?
It does. It really, really does. And you got to figure, Bernie, that at least one of the players that we're watching right here in this championship game tonight, we're probably going to see play in Major League Baseball one day. Not quite sure who it'll be.
One of the ways that we've seen over the years is that I think that a couple of years ago, 30 of 33 first-round picks at one point played USSSA baseball, and of course many of them, I would assume, made it to the Elite World Series.
Yeah, I saw a spreadsheet. I don't know, 1 or 2 years ago, I saw a spreadsheet that talked about, the amount of players that were in Major League Baseball that their career intersected with USSSA baseball. And it was an astonishing amount, and I wish I could recall those numbers off the top of my head, but unfortunately I'm a little cluttered with double elimination brackets and game 63 and 57 and 94 and all that stuff. But it was impressive numbers of the amount of Major League players that have come through the ranks of USSSA baseball in USSSA baseball's 20 short years.
Yeah.
20th anniversary of the program this year. And 14th year of the Elite World Series. And I'll tell you that I'm very, very proud to say that I am the one person in USSSA that has been here for all 14 of them. I guess, Bernie, you've been around for about the last 5 or 6, I would think.
I got a decade in here, actually.
You got a decade?
As long as the Pride have been around.
Yeah, I guess that we're going on 10 years now with the Pride, aren't we?
Well, 9 years right now, 1 more year.
Okay, so you're at 9, and I'm at 14.
Yep.
So we I've said many times, the only thing I've ever done longer than working at AAA is be married to my beautiful wife. That's about all I could say.
Good things the last couple of years. Bobbled on the infield, and so look at this. SL Select. And they are alive and in business. See if they could take advantage of things here in the third inning. Here's a look. And we got a triple header of games tomorrow here in the Elite World Series Championship.
And actually, we'll have a list. We now know, like I said, triple header, 6 teams. We know what 6 teams have punched their tickets for that championship game, and that list is going to slide right through this broadcast booth here in just a short second. And we can do some mini previews on those 3 games tomorrow.
Good job. Good job right here. Back. Come down.
Look at this. Ooh. Heads up there. They try to use the double steal to their advantage.
Actually, Bernie, I'm not sure I would have played that any different. I'm the Louisiana Tigers. I got a 2-run lead. And the runner on first versus runner on second with 2 outs. I'm not sure there's that big of a difference unless you get a base hit. And then that obviously is going to plate that run from second base. But versus allowing the run to score from third and giving them the free pass on the run, I think they're probably better off just letting the runner advance to second.
No, I agree there. All right, 2 in scoring position here in the bottom of the third.
Hands on John, be you right here. 2, 1. Hey, do you don't do that. Go, John. You make it right here. You go, go. Knock off. 2 outs, ready, you're running.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 away, but 2 in scoring position. Wow, way outside.
If you're going to miss, Bernie, let's miss somewhere where they're not going to hit it.
2-2. Inside of the count is full.
See how Mason Morris reacts here to this situation. Got a 3-2 count. 2 outs, runners on second and third.
Aubrey. Hey, keep battling right here. Aubrey. Now move out the way. Get over there. Let's go, John. Do a job here.
Gene McCray fouls off another one. Hanging tough in this at bat. 5, 6, 7 pitch at bat.
Got him! Oh, wow! Another big pitch for the Louisiana Tigers. Up by 2 in this championship game. They continue to come through with the big moments, and they get out of another important jam. The Tigers survive. Mason Morris still pitching a shutout as the Tigers leading 2-0 as we head to the 4th.
We are the game changers, the soldiers.
We are one,
and we are many.
We fight together for one common goal.
But how we fight,
well, that couldn't be any more different.
We each have our own skills
and our own needs.
Which is why we choose these as our weapons.
A collection of the hottest tools to give us the power we strive for.
These are the game changers.
For the game changers.
We are one.
We are many.
We are D-Marini Nation.
Power to the players.
And we are back at the USSSA Elite World Series for the fourth inning. And this 13U championship game, we've crowned almost half the teams that we're going to crown at this year's USSSA Elite World Series. But obviously, going to get the bulk of them tomorrow in the final day of competition. Texas Bombers Elite, Banditos Force. Our first game of the day, Alamo Drillers. I see a lot of them on the Twitterverse talking about how great they have been this year. Seems like every tournament that they have entered into, they've won in USSSA. At least that's what it appears to me.
Well, I know they came into the Elite World Series as the #1 seed, and they're headed to the championship game. You don't earn a #1 seed by being a second-tier team.
There's a fly out here to begin the fourth inning. Mason Morris, a couple of really big pitches in this championship game.
Come on, Mason. Come on, mate. Jordan up.
Batter for Tigers, Mason Morris. What a game for him. Strikeout and a throw out over to first on the drop third. Two outs here in the fourth inning now.
Our 9-year-old contest in the morning is going to be a battle of two Texas teams.
Ground ball over to third. And a quick 1, 2, 3, top of the fourth. We'll get back to those matchups tomorrow, 9s, 10s, and 11s in the morning. But right now, in the 13U championship game, it's the Louisiana Tigers over the South Louisiana Select 2-0.
First started swinging Marucci bats when I was in AAA. I needed some bats to swing, and I heard about Marucci at the time, so I gave it a shot. I mean, just the difference in the bats were amazing. You know, it felt so good in my hand, it felt like an instrument almost. My name is Andrew McCutcheon, and I swing Marucci. Check out Big League tested and approved Marucci products now.
On tomorrow. And we are back. There are the fans enjoying some really great baseball action.
Hey, focus where your feet are, the manufacturer.
Make sure you get out there, hashtag EliteWS 2017, and you know, sometimes it's a great thing about you bring your young into the game. They can watch their brother play, but they can also get the cans on and decide if they want to watch Paw Patrol or whatever it is at that age that entices them.
Well, I have a grandson that Paw Patrol is really, really important to. Then I have a son who is really hooked in on the Lego Ninja.
Yeah.
So both of those are very, very popular shows in our household.
Well, Eli David is the leadoff hitter, grounded out in his first plate appearance.
Hey, give me a good swing and then get back in there, swing. Boy, E. Keep your nose down. Keep your nose down. Keep your nose on the ball.
The pinnacle moment for many of these young athletes, at least early on in their careers, making it to this elite final. And we'll certainly see whoever wins this game celebrate, but man, the one thing that I look forward to maybe the most about tomorrow morning is you saw the emotion on these 8-year-olds. You know, the old adage, there's no crying in baseball, but sometimes, especially 8, 9, 10-year-olds, that you give up that hit and the tears, they just come falling down. It means so much to them to try to win this championship at that age.
Yeah, it's. I guess that's one of the reasons I'm kind of partial to the 8-year-old, Bernie, is that, you know, they're still young enough to where they just really don't. The pressures of the world just kind of pass them by. You know, they're out there playing it just because they love to be out there playing it. And you know, we'll see kind of similar tomorrow. We'll see that in our 9-year-old championship game. Texas Bombers Elite are 7-1 in the tournament so far. Facing off against in-state rival Banditos Force, who is a perfect 7-0.
Oh, that one got through the wickets at shortstop. Aiden Lambert thought that he was going to snag it, but instead this one rolls almost all the way to the wall. It's a leadoff double here to begin the fourth for the SL Select. Eli David, who started the game at second, finds himself at second here in the fourth inning.
Maybe that's a shot in the arm that this Select offense needed to get the ball rolling. You never know exactly what's going to tip it off and what's going to start the momentum rolling in your favor. That may be just what the doctor ordered. Appeal play at first base, Bernie, and the runner missed first base and is retired on the appeal play.
We have to check it out and see if we have footage of whether Eli David came around the bag. See if he missed the bag. And now the Tigers want to talk things through. Here's a look.
Oh, yeah, he missed it. He sure did. In fact, right there, he overstepped it completely. And look at our first base umpire right on top of it, looking right at it. Like I said, Bernie, earlier in the broadcast, elite level baseball and elite level officiating.
Nice job by one of our talented interns, Will Hinson from UF, finding that, running the replay tonight back at the home base.
Now, is he from UF or UCF?
No, UF. Got some
University
from
of Florida?
UCF and some from UCF.
You know what UCF? You know what UCF stands for, right?
I'm not sure.
Under construction forever.
Could be.
Ask any student, and they'll tell you that's exactly what that campus is. You know, that's actually the fastest growing college campus in America. UCF is. Over 50,000 students now.
Ground ball over to third. And SL Select is going to be wondering what could have been. And of course, got to give a good old PJ out there running high first. He's the one that got that shot to be able to validate the umpire. Sometimes we could validate it, you know. Same camera position that the Braves camera crew watches, and it's blocked out from us vantage point by a pole, so can't put PJ on unless he comes around to wave.
Maybe we'll get PJ out there to wave. Excellent camera work. Showed that there he is. There's PJ. Wave to us, PJ. There's PJ. Excellent camera work right there. Getting the missed base at first. The angle showed that our umpire was right on top of it, made the right call, which is so important that every call is the right call. That's the object of officiating, is making sure that no matter what the call is, you get it right. These 13-year-old boys deserve nothing less. Oh, Bernie, it seems like every time we start to try to talk about our previews for tomorrow's 3 championship games.
You get caught up in the game that we're watching right now, right?
Yeah, right. We wait for a lull in the action, and then we start to talk about it, and immediately, bang, there we go. We're right in the middle of something again. And we were talking about the 9-year-old championship game. We were talking about the interstate rivalry between the Texas Bombers Elite and the Banditos Force. Just a few interesting, quick facts.
We've seen those two at the older age, it seems like, doing some battle, obviously.
Yep, and they do the same battles at the younger ages, too. The Banditos Force is a perfect 7-0 this week.
Oh, wow.
They've scored 81 runs. That's 11.6 per game.
Wow.
But they've only given up 14. That means they're giving up 2 and scoring 11.6. Hard to lose when you're outscoring your opponents by 9 runs, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
But now their opponent in this matchup, the Texas Bombers Elite, they've played at 84, which is a 10.5 average. But now they've given up 32, which is 4 runs a game.
Wow.
Still hard to lose when you're winning by 6.5 every game. That should be a very interesting 9:05 a.m. first pitch contest we're going to have tomorrow morning. Our 9-year-old Elite World Series championship game.
Well, the one thing we know, there'll be a ton on the line.
Well, there always is in this tournament. You know, this is the one that you want to win. This is the chest beater. This is the granddaddy of them all, so to speak. Not to steal anything from the Rose Bowl, but when it comes to travel baseball and the pinnacle of this sport, the USSSA Elite World Series is the place to be.
Well, 2 away, 1 on. The 3-0 pitch misses. Ball 4. Two on. Two on, 2 out. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs, 2 on. Can South Louisiana select?
Let him hit. Let him hit. Welcome back, baby. Hey, pick up for this play.
I feel the select now is the time to draw a little bit of get that first run, draw some blood here. You definitely don't want to go into the 5th inning with the big zeros on the board.
Stay on the fastball, don't bust it, all right? You count. Six, back 1.
Got away.
Let him hit.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. Can South Louisiana push across their first run of the contest here in the 4th? Two. Missed upstairs, and they're in danger of potentially loading them up. When they need it the most, Mason Morris has pulled through with a big pitch.
He has thrown more than one of those tough pin in the outside corner fastballs tonight to get that big strikeout when he really, really needed it. See if he can go to the well one more time here.
Good time, Cam. Get locked, babe. Loose, babe.
Payoff pitch, runners going. Fouled away, everybody will come on back. The 8th pitch of this at bat. Cam Plassance trying to come through. Grounded over to 3rd. Across the diamond, the throw off the line, and oh my goodness, look at this. The selector gonna tie it up. Incredible change of events. Two here in the 4th now. Connor comes in to tie it up. Moment when you tie it.
1 out shy of 4 complete, and we're right back where we started. Not to take anything away from what we're seeing here in this inning by the select, but that 10U championship game we're going to have tomorrow morning, 11:35, I believe, is our first pitch. You mentioned the Alamo Drillers, our crack researchers back in Vieira, Florida. They've played in 15 tournaments this year, the Alamo Drillers, 15. They've won 13. Finished 2nd in one and 3rd in another.
Into right, a base hit for Rock John.
Select may not be finished here, Bern. They may just play another here in the fourth.
Why not take the lead, right?
That's right. Looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter here.
Cade Powell.
I believe that's going to be number 8, Cade Powell. I believe you're right there, Bernie.
Big spot. They're on the corners. The Selective tied it up.
Yep, the signal from the home plate umpire up to the official score, and in fact that is number 8. Cade Powell stepping in as the pinch hitter.
CP7 from Clinton, Oklahoma. A chance to become a huge hero. Just going to let the runner take second.
That'll be scored as catcher's indifference. No steal awarded on that. That's a new term that kind of popped up in baseball about 6 or 8 years ago. Catcher's indifference. Yep. I don't know what they called it before that, but heard that term the first time several years back.
Strike called, 1-1.
Hey, now you saw it, huh? Hey, put a good swing on it. Put a good nice swing on it, Cade. Let it take care of itself. Going on 2. Got 2 out, bro. Out ball. You good? Let's go, Cade. Hey, trust it. Put a good swing on it. Ross, you're running.
2-1, swing and a miss. And it all comes down to this. Mason Morris trying to make it a 2-2 game headed to the 5th. The pinch hitter, Cade Powell, trying to give SL Select their first lead of this game. Two. Called strike 3. A big pitch there, dialed in by Mason Morris. But first, the Select take advantage of an infield miscue, and they've tied it up 2-2 here in the 4th inning, headed to the 5th.
Everyone wants more focus. Everyone wants to play better. Using ADD medications as a sports enhancer is illegal and dangerous. Now, there's a clinically proven product that's all natural and available through a UTRIP Focus program. UTRIP members get 20% off when buy online, and GoBean donates 15% of the purchase to your team. The person that buys and sells the most GoBean wins $5,000, and the team that purchases the most GoBean wins $5,000. Bring your game to the next level with GoBean Focus. It works.
Jake, control.
There we are, Tigers first with 2 in the top of the 1st. Select with 2 in the bottom of the 4th, and that's where we find ourselves here. And the USSSA Elite World Series 13U Championship game. Tigers back to the plate. And the top of their lineup include Vermillion at the plate. One away.
Scoreboard from around Major League Baseball this evening, Bernie.
Yep.
Braves are up on the Phillies 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Rockies have doubled up the Nationals 4-2 in the top of the 7th.
Yep.
Middle of the 6th from Milwaukee. Brewers still up 1-0 on the Cubbies. I know that hurts you. Marlins up 6-2 on the Reds. That one's in the bottom of the 7th. Indians are up 4-3 on the Chi Sox, top of the 6th. Boston and Kansas City knotted at 4, middle of the 5th. D-backs are up on St. Louis, 3-1, top of the 7th. Orioles up over the Rangers, 4-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. San Diego jumped out 2 runs in the 1st inning. Out on the left coast, Padres over the Pirates 2-1 at the end of 1.
This one sailing into the upper deck. It could have been ours. You needed to bring your basket.
Yeah, that's not really my thing. Twins and A's just underway, and let's see, a little bit earlier today, Yankees topped the Rays 5-4. Angels over the Jays 6-5, and the Dodgers over the Giants 2-1. That wraps up the action there in the senior circuit of baseball. Major League Baseball's update for the day. Now that I've done my public duty to all baseball fans around the world.
My guess is that a lot of people that are watching this one like a lot of baseball, right?
I would definitely think so.
Landry at the plate, 2-2.
You know, being that we've got 2 Louisiana teams here, I'll tell you what you've got. You've either got Houston Astro fans or Atlanta Brave fans.
Yep.
Remember the Superstation? You know, the Braves used to be pumped into every household in the country. So you're going to probably have a mixture of Astros and Braves fans. Both teams who used to the Braves still do, but the Astros moved down to West Palm, but both of them used to spring train right here in Central Florida.
Yep. 2 away. Another big pitch. Landry is retired. Eli David, the Yeti on the mound. And he's doing some work here in the 5th inning. Whole new idea, obviously, in a 2-2 game.
Well, it's like I said, we're right back where we started, you know. Kind of we'll see how this one plays out here with 2 outs. At the top of the 5th. I really, truly thought this would be more of an offensive game than it has been, with a 2-2 score here in the top of the 5th frame. Both these teams have scored so many runs this week, but I guess, you know, you keep that number 1 ace on the shelf as long as you can, and everybody's number 1 can just about shut down any offense.
You got to, right?
Yeah, you have to. You don't have a choice. You know, that's another part of this tournament that makes it just so amazing. You know, 7-8 day event, handling and juggling a pitching staff. It's got to be a manager's nightmare.
Oh, I can bet. Into right. It is caught in South Louisiana. They got a little momentum. Tied up in the bottom of the 4th. They got a chance to come to the plate here in the 5th and find themselves with their first lead of the night.
We are the game changers, the soldiers.
We are one,
And we are many.
We fight together for one common goal.
but how we fight,
Well, that couldn't be any more different.
We each have our own skills.
And our own needs.
which is why we choose these as our weapons.
A collection of the hottest tools to give us the power we strive for.
These are the game changers.
For the game changers.
We are one.
We are many.
We are DeMarini Nation.
Power to the players.
There they are, the select fans enjoying this championship of the Elite World Series, and that's what it's all about. You know, you think about, you come here, and obviously your son gets to play in the game, but you get to bring a group of friends with you sometimes. You get to bring the whole family, and they get a chance to just soak it all in.
Well, they get to go do the Disney thing, you know.
Yep.
The little ones, the little siblings, the little brothers and the little sisters. There's something, you know, here for them too, with all the different parks. You know, that'll be a great thing about moving this event out to Vieira, out to the Space Coast complex, in the fact that you are just really only 5 minutes further away from all the parks that Disney has to offer. But you're also there on the beach. I know you, Bernie. I know the general area where you live, and you're about halfway.
Yep.
You know, so you're just a tad ways from the beach and a tad ways from Disney. And like me, you have youngins. You have some little ones too at the house. So we all spend a fair amount of time doing the Disney parks here. You know, if you live in Central Florida, undoubtedly you're going to end up at Disney a couple times a year with the kids, or at least I have.
Right.
You know, and then of course any weekend you can throw the chairs and the umbrella and pack the cooler and head off to the beach. It's only a 30-minute drive, so it's really it's the best of all worlds, Central Florida, and the move of USSSA out to the Space Coast just.
No, it's going to be a great thing. And, you know, you think about the complex and everything that these guys are going to get to see when they're out there, and the technology that is in the complex as well. With obviously, you've been a part of the flight scope ball tracking Doppler radar technology that you've seen over the last couple of years. One of the challenges that we've had with it is just moving it site to site and venue to venue. But when you get in that complex and it's able to be on every field, and you know, the difference here is we'll be able to live stream every one of the tournaments, you know, as it comes along for every field, as opposed to just Champion Stadium like we are this weekend, just because the connectivity here at Disney tends to be a little bit of a troublesome thing, as you see Scott get aboard to lead off the inning.
Well, you know, and not just in USSSA baseball, Bernie, but in all the USSSA diamond sports, the fast pitch, the slow pitch, you know, anything that we can play on those fields, in theory, we can stream them on USSSA Live.
Absolutely.
You know, we'll be able to bring some soccer events in there, lacrosse. I mean, it's limitless, the events that USSSA is going to be able to bring to the Space Coast complex. Yeah, you know, it's 15 diamonds. Yeah, that's what it is. But it's going to be so much more than that. And all of that because of the technologies that are being built into the facility. You know, you mentioned flight scope being hardwired on every field. You know, and just the technologies that have been the forethought to lay out and design the complex with those technologies built in. It's going to really be a great advancement of the game, a great advancement of this event, and actually a great advancement of every single event that USSSA puts in the Space Coast complex.
And as you mentioned, never, I'm going to assume, unless we just had this downpour of 8 a.m. to midnight all day long, or are you going to have a whole day get washed out at the Space Coast complex?
Well, Bernie, you know, it stops raining at midnight. We can always start playing at 12:05.
I guess that's true.
You know, I have been known to do that on occasion when necessary. But no, you're right. On a serious note, like I said, I don't know whether I mentioned that earlier in this broadcast or if it was during our 12-year-old championship game, but I was at the stadium just a week and a half ago, and we had a typical summer Central Florida monsoon roll through, and it poured for an hour and a half, and literally, I'm not exaggerating, 5 minutes after it stopped raining, there was not a drop of standing water on any of the diamonds that are already finished, which I guess there's 5 of them now that are already finished.
Yep.
And I believe we're shooting for a early fall grand opening with
I would assume right around when the USSSA National Convention is going to be in Daytona Beach. I guess it's a question of whether it will be set in time for us to line up a tournament specifically for it to go. But the other one that we haven't talked about tonight is we got a chance last night to see the 8U championship. And did you know that there's going to be a championship field just for that age group with video board and everything?
I do know about that one, and actually we talked about that in our managers meeting last Saturday evening that we had with the 8-year-old coaches. We talked about the what I'm dubbing the mini stadium, so to speak, with a miniature jumbotron in the outfield wall, and so it's going to be that complex is really going to alter the face of amateur sports in the Central Florida / Space Coast area.
1-2, bunt laid down, it goes foul. The other thing that you think about is, so far it seems like the weather might be even potentially a little bit better. It seems like that wherever we are here at Disney, I don't know what it is about this area, but it's almost just like it pulls in the storms. Almost every day you get something here. Where on the Space Coast, we've had one Pride rainout game, and I don't know that they tried hard enough that night, because I feel like it's one that if they would have waited another 30 minutes or so, the Lightning would have surpassed, but they decided, let's just run it off and play 2.
You said the magic word. That was actually not a rainout, that was a lightning out, more than anything. And with Lakeland, Florida being the lightning capital of the United States, Lakeland, Florida, just a short 30 minutes down the road west from here in Disney. You got to be careful with that lightning. But you're right, that was a lightning out, not a rain out. There, in theory, will never be a rain out at the Space Coast complex, and unless, like you said, it literally rained all day and never stopped. But yeah, it's going to be a thrill. It's going to be wonderful. I cannot wait till we get the complex open. It's going to alter the face of a lot of the events that we run on the national level that I oversee or I'm in charge of. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to moving the Elite World Series there. I'm looking forward to moving the S30 Championships there. I'm looking forward to moving the All-American Games there. Fast Pitch World Series, Slow Pitch World Series. I can go on and on and on for days on how exciting this is going to be.
Out to right field. And a run comes in to score. Scott gets on board and Select. They've got their first lead of the contest. Aiden Powell into the game. Three unanswered. Taking advantage. Now a base hit here for King Bergeron. Now his brother Caleb coming to the plate.
I'm glad you can keep that straight. I'm lost.
The numbers do help, I can tell you that.
That was number 5, Adam Jenkins, in there to run at first base.
So it's the SL Select 3 unanswered, and they've got their first lead of the contest now. That's why he wears some protection. Hit by pitch.
The hardest way to earn a base in baseball.
Here's a look. Oh.
Fortunately, just a glancing blow and not a direct hit.
I hear you there.
Hey, no back fake, no inside move. That man kind of hit. Let's double those hit.
Look at this. They throw to third and they got him. Gunned down. Then the inning, but Marquette Scott comes in, skipping on home. And for the first time today, South Louisiana, they're in the lead here at the Elite World Series. Some big plays, some big moments. And with 2 innings to play, it's the Select over the Tigers in the 13U championship.
We are the game changers, the soldiers.
We are one,
and we are many.
We fight together for one common goal.
But how we fight,
Well, that couldn't be any more different.
We each have our own skills
and our own needs.
which is why we choose these as our weapons.
A collection of the hottest tools to give us the power we strive for.
These are the game changers.
For the game changers.
We are one.
We are many.
We are DeMarini Nation.
Power to the players.
Two innings remain here at the 13U Elite World Series between the SL Select and the Louisiana Tigers. Select with their first lead of the game, 3 unanswered. Noah's going to lead things off for the Tigers. They scored the first 2 runs of this game. Noah Duplantis, first baseman. Branson McCoy, Jimmy Johnson. That's the first 3 here in the inning. Some nice pitching in relief by Eli David. And he gets a ground out for the first out here in the 6th. Tigers down to their final 5 outs of this championship. Branson McCoy now the first baseman at the plate. Pitch fouled away. Pitch outside. Missed. Notice they had caught the outside corner. It's 2-2. Two and two. Draws a walk. Pitch right on it and fouled right back. This one actually went into the tunnel. Jimmy Johnson 1 for 2, singled in the third inning. Fouled away again. Tying run is on board here in the sixth inning. Foul back again, trying to get up to our booth.
Here we go, Jim.
Called strike three. They throw it on to second and the stolen base. Of course, these great teams play for one of USSSA's great directors, Joey Odom, watching tonight in Louisiana. Continues to put so many great teams into the association. Here's another look at the throw. It was a high throw. You can see the foot stayed on the bag the entire time. Big spot for the SL Select. They work their way back into the game, taking the lead with 2 in the 4th, the run in the 5th.
Colton, you got 2 down.
Trying to take a deep breath here because the tying run is in scoring position, and the Tigers, Gabe Patterson, who's 1 for 2, a single and stole a base in the 2nd. He's got eyes to try to tie things up.
Clear. Good. Bounce.
Ball's going to get away. And the tying run is now at 3rd. Harvin, 90 feet away. As the Tigers trying to tie it up here in the 6th inning. Gabe Patterson. Watches the pitch. Oh my goodness. A wild pitch. And the Tigers have tied it up, scoring for the first time since the 1st. Incredible how it happens in the blink of an eye.
Just the intricacies of the game. You know, the fine details, the small stuff, if you want to call it that. It's all the details in how you present yourself on the field and how you play it on the field.
Low pitch got through the wickets, and the Tigers tie it up. They get the final out, but not before the Tigers tie it up. A wild pitch turns into a run, but Eli David knows it could have been so much better for the Select in the inning. He missed an opportunity. These two teams doing battle at the Elite World Series, all tied up 3-3.
First started swinging Marucci bats when I was in AAA. I needed some bats to swing, and I heard about Marucci at the time, so I gave it a shot. I mean, just the difference in the bats were amazing. You know, it felt so good in my hand, it felt like an instrument almost. My name is Andrew McCutcheon, and I swing Marucci. Check out Big League tested and approved Marucci products now.
Bottom of the 6th inning here in the USSSA Elite World Series. They play 7 innings.
Hey, dug out. Patrick. Gotta pay attention.
0-0, leading things off for the SL Select. Connor Mathern, first baseman, pops it up, drifting, foul, and out of play. Mathern 0 for 1, walked and scored a run in the 4th inning. It's when the Select brought home 2.
Let's go.
This ball is crushed to right field, but the right fielder able to track it down and make the play. CJ out and right. That's what it's all about, staying with the play, Matt.
Defense. Talking earlier about the pass ball that cost Select the run. It's the little things. Defense is so important in this game. Now, you can hit the ball as far as you want, but if you can't catch it, the other team's going to score plenty. What a great effort in staying with that ball. He got a little twisted up. Ball hung up in the lights a little bit. I'm sure the lights bothered him just a hair, but he got turned around, he got twisted, but he got himself right and made the catch, and that's ultra important.
Up, Cam. Hey, Lou.
There's a base hit. Straight up the middle for Cam Plaisance.
I'm actually very impressed here this evening by Mason Morris on the hill for the Tigers. He's been in more than one jam.
Yep.
You know, and he has managed to work his way out of most of all these jams. Our umpires coming together here. I'm not quite sure what it is they're discussing. Possibly could be a courtesy runner issue. Whether it was a courtesy, whether the Select have inserted a courtesy runner at first base for the pitcher and catcher of record, or a pinch runner, and they just want to make sure they get the lineup card completely right, because obviously if it's a pinch runner, it would have to be a substitute, and a starter can come out of the game and return one time. A substitute enters the game and comes out and he's done.
Right.
He can still courtesy run, though, later in the game. USSSA has the courtesy runner rule for the pitchers and catchers. That's more of just of a speed-up rule than it is anything. You know, the last thing you want is your catcher on base when the third out's made and he's got to get to the dugout, excuse me, get all his gear on and get back out there behind the plate. So the speed-up rule comes into play. I'm not quite sure what they're working through, but I have a feeling it has something to do with the runner that was inserted there at first base.
Well, and that's what, obviously there's many nuances here in USSSA baseball, so kind of a full-time job, if you will, just for these umpires, just to take an eye and know everything, obviously, at the different levels, different ideas. They play 7 innings here in this 13U championship game, like they obviously did last night in the 14U championship game. 6 and below for our younger age groups that we see.
And I'm going to say it was the courtesy runner. For our viewers, just in case, if an improper courtesy runner is used, there is no penalty. You just fix it and continue play. If there is no proper courtesy runner available, well, then obviously the pitcher and catcher would have to run for themselves. It just looks like here that possibly the SL Select ran in the wrong courtesy runner, and it was brought to the attention of the first base umpire. and they reviewed the lineup card, and it appears that that is the case. So they have swapped a proper courtesy runner at first base, and we'll get back to action right here in just a second. Like I'll reiterate, there is no direct penalty for that. You just fix it and move on with the game.
Well, the courtesy runner is intended to speed up the game, but sometimes it slows it down.
Most it seems that way, doesn't it, Bernie?
Yep.
You know, over the course of a full season, I'm sure that it speeds the games up, dramatically. But you're right. At any one particular moment, it seems like, geez, are we speeding this game up or are we slowing it down? Then again, when you've got on the line what these two teams have on the line, okay, the game's going to play at a slower pace. It's no different than a Game 7 of a World Series in Major League Baseball. That's going to be a 3.5-hour contest. No matter how you slice it and dice it, doesn't matter what the score is. It's a Game 7 of the Major League Baseball World Series. So same thing here at the 13-year-old level. You're going to slow the game down a little bit. It's going to play a little bit longer than most 13-year-old games, but that's justifiable. Look what's on the line.
2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. They caught the runner in a rundown, and they're going to place the tag on him and get the second out of the inning. Select trying to make sure they don't run themselves out of the inning. Nice job there. The bouncer on the infield, knocked down by the shortstop, and he throws to first but can't make the play in time. Aiden Lambert, the shortstop for the Louisiana Tigers, almost came up with a spectacular grab. He is making sure you get out of the box quickly.
Looks like we have an injury on the field there. The shortstop hit the playing surface hard. Knee probably went a little numb on him. So, Bernie, we talked about our 9-year-old championship game with 2 Texas teams. We talked about the Alamo Drillers and how they won 13 of like the 15 tournaments they played in.
Right.
I'm going to preview our 11 and under championship game, in that for the first time in 3 years, this group of kids, when they were 9, 10, and now 11, this championship game has come down to Wilson MVP and the Georgia Yard Dogs. But this year we got Wilson MVP and the Boca Hitmen out of South Florida.
There you go.
So Wilson MVP has made it to the championship game now 3 years in a row. The previous 2 years knocking off the Georgia Yard Dogs both years by 1 run. Last year 5-4. The year before that 8-7. But this year the Boca Hitmen came alive on the other side of the bracket, and they're going to face Wilson MVP tomorrow. That'll be our afternoon cap, so to speak. I believe a 2:05 scheduled first pitch.
I can't wait.
And that will be our final League World Series championship game broadcast from the ESPN Wide World of Sports. So that'll kind of be a little sentimental tomorrow. Moving on down the road, so to speak, moving down Florida Highway 528. Is that what we call it? Is it 528,
Yeah,
Bern?
the 528 will get you across there.
The 528 gets you out to the Space Coast.
Yep.
In the absolute gorgeous USSSA Space Coast Complex. How many square feet of artificial turf they got out there, Burton, you know?
It's a lot. 15 feet fields. That's where our crew is tonight. We got some outstanding people back in our USSSA VR control. And that's what we need is we got to get a camera in there so we can do a live shot of the control room going in and out.
You're right. That's exactly what we need. The technology just blows me away that you and I and 4 cameramen can be sitting here in basically Orlando, Florida, but our control staff is back in Vieira, Florida, which is 45 miles away, and they're piecing it all together, piecing together the replay, piecing together the graphics, keeping the score bug alive, and doing all that from 45 miles away. I still don't comprehend it, but that's your expertise and not mine.
Hey, we've gone halfway across the country. The furthest we've gone so far is Kansas City, bringing back games. And actually, out past the 385 sign, that's where we used to park our little Remy truck, if you will, a little van that they would park out there that we would produce games at. But
you're right, right behind.
There's no van.
You're right behind the 385 sign there in right field. I remember.
It actually opened it up, which has been great for me this week, is I parked where the van has been all week long.
Well, there you go. So you got rid of the expense of the van, and you got a parking space out of the deal. Boy, Burton, you're just racking it up, huh?
It's all about getting good parking. You typically have the A prime spots locked in.
I do. I tend to snag one of the 2 USSSA reserve spots on the back wall of the stadium.
Yep.
My assistant Jackie Algar, she always the USSSA National Office baseball administrator. She typically grabs the other one, so we really can't complain because we're only 15 feet from the stadium to begin with. But the one thing about coming to the ESPN Wide World of Sports is typically you're going to walk. That's a given.
Yeah.
But you're right. You snagged yourself a good parking place by getting into that van.
3-2 pitch, runner goes on the 3-2, popped up into left field. This one has a chance to fall, and it will. A base hit. The Select, they got runners on the corners here in the 6th inning.
I just don't think either one of these teams are going to go quietly here, Bern. Would not be surprised at all if the Select doesn't play another run here in the 6th, and the Tigers come back and get at least 1 or more, maybe more in the 7th. You know, we may be here for a while. We may be in the 6th inning, but we may play a little bit of free baseball tonight, which is exactly what our broadcast crew wants to hear, knowing that they've got 3 games to do tomorrow.
I hear you.
You
They're
know,
troopers, though.
Oh, our cameramen, they just love extra innings. Our production crew back in Vieira, there's nothing more than they want than some extra inning baseball this evening.
Well, the one thing that SL Select can do is they can put the Tigers down to their final 3 outs if they could get a hit here.
That is true. In USSSA Elite World Series, the higher seed is the home team here in the championship game. And we opened our broadcast with the fact that the SL Select are the 3 seed,
yep,
and the Louisiana Tigers are the 22 seed.
Incredible, right?
Yeah, I've been running this tournament for 14 years. I have yet to see a 22. I've never even seen a 12 seed in the championship game, let alone a 22 seed. I made reference. I compared it to the 18 seed in the NCAA tournament. You know, 18 seeds don't make it to the championship game. You know, and here in the Elite World Series, 22 seeds don't. But here we stand tonight, and they've done it.
Well, step 1 for McCoy if the Tigers are going to win the title is they've got to get to the 7th with this still being 3-3 and try to figure out a way to eke across another run.
Both pitchers have pitched true gems this evening. Both of them have pitched their way out of trouble on multiple occasions. Ball fouled off there up into the stands, and it appears to me that a young lad from Pembroke Pines, Florida, grabbed that foul ball.
There you go.
Hoorah to him. But both these pitchers really have pitched gems this evening. They've really worked. They've really pitched themselves out of a couple jams. Their defenses have played pretty solid behind them. There's been a miscue or two along the way, but both these pitchers have really been able to pitch themselves around those jams. But let's see here. We got an inning to go.
Marquette Scott, if you remember, he came in the 5th inning and made it a 3-2 game. Can he come up with a clutch hit here in the bottom of the 5th inning? No matter what, the folks from Louisiana are going to celebrate an Elite World Series championship. He kind of faked the throw over. I'm not sure at that point why he wouldn't just take second. They're basically giving it to you.
You're right, Bernie. Somebody in Louisiana is partying tonight.
Obviously, Joey Odom runs such a great program down there.
Yes, he does.
It's a big pitch from McCoy. 1-2 pitch with 2 away and 2 on. Got him swinging out of the zone, and the Tigers, the Cinderella story, they are still alive.
Live to breathe another inning.
3-3. We are still all tied up, headed to the final inning of this 13U championship.
Everyone wants more focus. Everyone wants to play better. Using ADD medications as a sports enhancer is illegal and dangerous. Now, there's a clinically proven product that's all natural and available through UTRIP Focus program. UTRIP members get 20% off when you buy online, and GoBean donates 15% of the purchase to your team. The person that buys and sells the most GoBean wins $5,000, and the team that purchases the most GoBean wins $5,000. Bring your game to the next level with GoBean Focus. It works.
It is all about the Elite World Series Championship. The Tigers pushed across the tying run in the 6th inning. In the 4th inning, 2 came in for the Select. We've had a game filled with impressive plays, and the youngsters, they've only been able to watch what has been a brilliantly competed 13U championship. As you take a look at how this was scored, the Select 2 in the 1st. They scored another run, the Select scored 2 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th, while the Tigers scored 2 in the 1st and a run in the 6th. And that's where we find ourselves here, ready for the final inning of play in this 13U Elite World Series.
I'll tell you, Bernie, both these ball clubs have played roughly probably 70, 75 games this season. Of course, the 13-year-old division doesn't start quite as early as the younger kids do because of middle school and high school baseball. But they've got a good 70, 75 games under their belt. You got to figure both teams travel from Louisiana. They've played their hearts out all week. Here we are, 7th inning, championship game, 13 and under major Elite World Series, and we're tied.
Wow.
Right back where we started 5 months ago before either one of these teams played a game. Tied.
It all comes down to this final inning. What a moment for these youngsters. They've waited their entire year, and Craig Strali, who's 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts, is going to lead off the inning. Pops this one up, and it's going to drift way out of play. this could be a true Cinderella story, and it could be the second championship for the Louisiana Tigers of the weekend. We already saw them take the 14U title, and the Tigers do it again.
Well, this program is no stranger to the winner's circle, or victory lane, if we will, of the Elite World Series. The 14-year-old franchise has got, I believe, 2 championships in the last 4 years under their belt. And as I probably mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the 13-year-old program has made strides in the last 4 years to become one of the true national powerhouses at the 13-year-old division. So they're right where they should be.
One away. I have been so impressed with the way that Eli David has pitched since he's gotten inserted in the contest. One away. And here is number 1. Reed Broussard getting an opportunity to hit here in the final inning. Nicknamed Bull.
Reminds me of the movie Bull Durham. I hope nobody uncorks a pitch that almost hits the bull.
You never know.
Let's hope not.
Yep, another strikeout for Eli David. And there's 2 away here in the 7th inning. Number 42 now. Colton Wood getting a chance to hit in the 7th inning of this championship game.
I believe Colton's been here before in the Elite World Series. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he played for an 11-year-old team 2 years ago out of the Baton Rouge area. The name rings a bell.
Wood pops it up on the infield, and a quick 1-2-3 inning for Eli David. The selector coming to the plate, and they have a chance to be our first walk-off champion of 2017. Bottom of the 7th could be the final half inning when we come back to Champion Stadium.
Everyone wants more focus. Everyone wants to play better. Using ADD medications as a sports enhancer is illegal and dangerous. Now, there's a clinically proven product that's all natural and available through UTRIP Focus program. UTRIP members get 20% off when you buy online, and GoBean donates 15% of the purchase to your team. The person that buys and sells the most GoBean wins $5,000, and the team that purchases the most GoBean wins $5,000. Bring your game to the next level with GoBean Focus. It works.
We are back under the lights here at Champion Stadium, and everything is starting to come to vision. We know a team from Louisiana is going to be the 13U champions. But with the moon out on a gorgeous night, the question is, who will it be here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the select that comes through? Or will the Tigers come through with a big hit? And push us to the 8th inning.
Patrick. Behind the eight. Get flat, Joe.
1-1 pitch. Put it into play, and it gets through the infield for a base hit. The championship winning run is aboard, and it's the leadoff hitter.
Well, if you're the SL Select, that's exactly what you wanted to happen. And if you're the Louisiana Tigers, that's exactly what you didn't want to happen. It'll be interesting to see if the Select choose to bunt this runner over, get him into scoring position, possibly steal, flat steal, possibly a little hit and run action. Hard to say.
Pitch into the corner, and it is foul. That would have done it. Almost. Pitcher Eli David, he could be the hero tonight. Comes in, closes the door pitching wise. Can he come up with a big hit here in the 7th inning?
Yeah, it's one thing I love about 13-year-old baseball, Bernie, is we still got multifaceted players. You know, when they start 14 and above, that's when you get into pitchers only, and this kid does this, and this kid does that. And it's just really great to see.
Oh my goodness, a pass ball. And the championship winning run on their way to third.
If you're the Tigers, you have no choice but to bring the infield in, bring the outfield in.
Nobody out, and the winning run is at third. You wonder what the thought process is here. They're going to intentionally walk Eli David.
And they're probably going to intentionally walk the next runner, Bernie, the next batter, and load the bases up.
And they will.
And I called that one. And now they're juiced, which actually, from a defensive standpoint, is not a bad idea, because the runner on first and second mean nothing to you. Okay. Now you're forcing a play at the plate instead of leaving it to chance. You're going to force the play at the plate. And once you get that first out, if the bases are still juiced, now you got the opportunity for the double play. So it could be the easiest way out. Putting those two runners on doesn't mean anything other than you're relying on your pitcher to throw strikes.
Right.
That's the only negative side of this. Is if your pitcher is having trouble throwing strikes, causes some problems. But none of the arms we've seen in this game this evening have had any problems being in the strike zone. So that shouldn't really, I wouldn't think, come into play here.
Caleb Bergeron at the plate, hoping to be a hero in this 13U championship game and make the Select the elite champions before the pitch time is called. You got to throw strikes too if you're McCoy. Bouncing ball, it gets through, and SL Select, they're the elite champions. Oh, wow.
What a great ending to a great championship game, Bernie.
What a contest for these two teams from Louisiana. But at the end, it's the Select. They survive, they get the big hit, and they're going back to Louisiana as champions. What a championship, what a tournament.
What a great 13-year-old division we had this year. Some great monstrous teams. Like I said, the Louisiana Tigers, just the 22 seed, even making it to the championship game, was an achievement in itself. Once again, there you can see the sportsmanship of these athletes shaking each other's hands. Both of them from Louisiana. These teams have probably met, I don't know for sure, but I've probably met several times this year across the southeastern United States, and comes down to a base hit in the bottom of the 7th inning to finalize the championship game of the 2017 Elite World Series in the 13 and under division. What a great contest, two great teams, and just a great story all the way around.
Well, what a moment it was, what a night it was. And tomorrow, if you want more baseball, we're back here at 9 a.m. A triple header of championships, 9s, 10s, and 11s, right here on USSSALive.com/World Series. For Matt Trebishon, our crew in Vieira, our crew here at Disney, I'm Bernie Gunther saying good night from Champions Stadium. More champions crowned in the Elite World Series. Tonight, it was the SL Select walking home as the Elite World Series champions.